कौन सा?
1 2 3 वे लाइव हैं गाइस बाय द वे। बड़ा ज़रूरी है बताना कि वी आर लाइव, नहीं तो कुछ अनकही बातें कही हो जाती हैं, प्रॉब्लम आता है उसके बाद। कोई विल स्मिथ ना कर दे हमारे ऊपर ऐसे आके, कुछ बात हमने बोल दी और पसंद ना आया हो। वैसे आप भाई स्वागत है आप सबका। आप देखिए टू माय राइट एंड टू माय लेफ्ट आई एम जॉइंड बाय 2 डॉन्स। हालाँकि नाम तो मैंने अपने आप को ही दिया हुआ है भोजपुरिया डॉन, लेकिन आज भाई डॉनों की संगत है। 420 ग्राम्स में सब डॉन आ रहे हैं यहाँ पे। और देखो जी, हमारे शो पे लोग लेट ना आए, ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? No, 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 no. We have to have people who are coming late. So we're of course joined by Don Renedy Singh, former India captain, legend, and someone we truly love on the show. Renedy bhai, good to see you. कैसे हो आप? Calcutta में हो?
Thanks, brother. Thanks. Yeah, Calcutta में.
Yeah,
Calcutta में
we
4
are
बन
on,
के
Renedy
चाहिए.
bhai. The show is on.
Where is my?
Okay.
One second. I'll just.
Okay, Renedy bhai will just fix his things. Don Richard has also joined us after a long time. Don Richard, you were on a hiatus from technology for a long, long time. How does it feel to press the green button and the red button? Because that's the maximum I can reach as far as technology is concerned.
अभी भी hiatus चल रहा है, लेकिन good to come back on this.
Good to have you as well, because there's so much to talk about. And then, of course, we have Don Jaideep. Don Jaideep sir is with us as well. Sir, सब Don है आज. सबको Don का नाम दिया गया है. Jaideep sir, कैसे हो आप? How are things going? How are things going?
On what front?
Any
On
front.
Indian.
This is Guftagoo before all the Dons join in.
अच्छा, फिर तो ठीक है. I'm doing well. Had some internet issues. Temporarily solved.
You fought through them.
through.
You fought through them, just like India is
yeah.
fighting. They're always fighting.
Well, I don't know.
But भी कर दिया वहाँ पे मैंने. But the point is, today what we're doing is we're not just focusing on Belarus. We're focusing on Belarus and Bahrain and saying, आज जो ये 2 मुकाबले हमें देखने को मिले हैं हाल ही में इस 1 हफ्ते के दौरान, इंडियन फुटबॉल ने क्या गेन किया है, क्या खोया है, कहाँ पहुँची है गाड़ी, कुछ नया देखने को मिला है. इन सब चीज़ों के बारे में बातचीत हम करेंगे with Renedy Singh, Ishfaq, Ahmed, Siddhant Annie is there with us, Jaideep Basu, Richard Hood, and my name is Arjun. Richard, sir was with us after the Bahrain game. So I kind of have a sense of what he got from the team, you know. Even though I know we haven't spoken about Belarus, but I don't know how much more there is to talk about after that Belarus game. From the 2 games that India has played under Stimac, and against higher ranked opposition, higher quality opposition, it must be said, what are your takeaways? Have we gained something? Can we say कि हमें ये मिला इन 2 मुकाबलों से?
नहीं, I think मिला तो थोड़ा clarity तो मिल जाएगा. One is that what's exactly missing in the starting 11? What are the qualities that we need to be successful for the final stage of the AFC qualifiers? तो उसमें अगर assess करेंगे कि ठीक है pitch में you go unit by unit, defensive unit ले लो, midfield unit ले लो, forward line ले लो, तो उसमें क्या qualities missing थे? तो I mean come closer to what brand of football that he wants to play. तो once you add it up, subtract it, मतलब ये तो 180 minutes जो खेले हमने, उससे तो ये तो मिल जाएगा. For asking what we've gained, at least we know that which are the players that we need to look at, and I'm sure you'll have a very close eye on what's happening with the AFC Champions League, where most of the national team players are playing the trade as well. तो अभी इससे तो इतना तो मिल गया कि ठीक है 180 minutes खेला, higher ranked teams हैं, तो yeah, at least in terms of that what's exactly missing in each unit, उससे तो पता चल जाएगा कि आगे क्या होना है.
What is missing? I mean, we've got another Don who's joined us, Don Ishfaq, Don Renedy also with us today. And before we get every Don to talk about their thoughts, if I press you on it, what's missing? What was the glaring thing? So if I had to assume and say, I would say मुझे तो स्ट्राइकर से ज़्यादा डिफेंडर्स पे थोड़ा वो लग रहा है कि जी हमारी डिफेंस खुलेगी, क्योंकि बंदे नहीं है. जो बंदे कर रहे थे काम काफ़ी टाइम से, अब सडनली यू आर थिंकिंग यार अब इससे ज़्यादा क्या मिलेगा आपको? Was there a specific area that you thought that you've got an answer for?
I mean, if you're pressing for it, then again you have to be very conscious of who are the players who are not there on the pitch actually. As in, if I think last show में Renedy ने भी बताया था, I think जयदीप सर ने बताया था कि अपना best 11 बना लो और उससे 3 निकाल दो. मतलब ये कभी ideal scenario मिलने नहीं वाला. I think Bob Houghton and Terry Venables का बात किया था वो context में. तो if you're going to press in मतलब 2 मैचेस में फॉर्मेशन पूरा चेंज कर दिया, बैक 4 से बैक 3 पे चले गए थे. और फिर सेकंड हाफ ऐसा नहीं है, मतलब दोनों मैचेस में क्या बोलेंगे 35% पोजीशन रखा है, तो मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम वी वर डिफेंडिंग इन बोथ द गेम्स। तो एंड जब क्वालिफायर्स आएंगे ये कंबोडिया, हांगकांग और अफगानिस्तान के साथ, उधर एटलीस्ट 2 मैचेस तो जीतने हैं, मतलब वहाँ पे 6 से 7 पॉइंट्स लेके आ जाएंगे तो दैट विल बी सक्सेस फॉर अस। तो मतलब व्हाट कैन वी टेक अवे फ्रॉम दिस टू अडैप्ट टू द नेक्स्ट ओपोनेंट, उधर ही थोड़ा देखना है कि डिफेंसिवली वी कांट बी गिविंग अवे 5 गोल्स इन 2 मैचेस, लेकिन ओपोनेंट का भी कॉन्टेक्स्ट लेना है ना, मतलब दे क्वाइट सुपीरियर टू अस।
True. I agree with that. Don Ishfaq, good to see you on the show, sir. Don Renedy, it's good to see that you sorted your internet issues. And Don Jaideep, because sir, हम यहाँ पे क्या कह रहे हैं, करतार की तरह हम सवाल जवाब कर रहे हैं। तो करतार में पहले जयदीप सर हैं। सर, आप बताओ,
हाँ
कुछ
जी।
बदला आपके दिमाग में आफ्टर बेलारूस, एज अ होलसम लुक बैक ऑन दोस 2 games, गेन, लूज, और इज स्टिल द सेम व्हाट्स गोइंग ऑन, जो काफी टाइम से चल रहा है?
I thought what you said at the last is right. It's the same. If you ask me about what I have gained out of these 2 matches, frankly, I don't see much. Somebody can say about one flash of brilliance, one fine cross from the right or left, or some good heading or some good pass. You can always talk, but that doesn't make the whole game. But if you ask me what I have got out of this 180 minutes, I haven't got much. Only thing which the gain is that it is a warning that things are not going to be easy in the qualifiers. That is the only warning I am getting. And if Belarus is a higher ranked team or India is a lower ranked team, or what is Bahrain's ranking, all these things doesn't matter. And it will also not matter now, I feel. Previously I didn't feel like that, but now I feel it will also not matter in the qualifiers. If Macedonia, standing at 162, can beat the European champions, then what about the teams which are playing against India? So from the 2 matches you were asking about what is my game, sorry, at least I didn't see any game. Somebody might have seen some games. I thought there is no point blaming the players or the coach or anything. It is the system which is faulty, and we are paying for our system. Actually, we are paying through our nose for the faulty system. But nobody is speaking about it.
But your system is also giving you young players like Hormi Palm. Your sister is giving you Roshan Singh. I know that development started, babe. So that could also be a gain, you would say, that you're getting some of these boys who are looking.
If you go back 5 years before, you will see in the show, this show only, you have named some of the players who are our gains. Yes, they were our gains. But what we gain in the totality. Again, football is not a game of individuals, which I said at the start, that you can talk about one good pass, one good shot, one good heading, one good cross, one good center, so many things, but doesn't make the entire game. You are asking me about 180 minutes, huh? Isn't it? You are not asking me about individuals. So that's what I said. The system, I think, is faulty, and people are not talking about it. I'm very disappointed they are not talking about it. Perhaps most of the people have an axe to grind there. That is the
by
reason.
That you mean lack of game time. You mean lack of game time, resulting in a lack of
game time. Everything.
Not enough time on the field. And thereby it's showing on when you're.
New system is not suiting us. It's not suiting us. I'm not saying the old system was very good. That was great, and this is nothing. That I'm not saying. But there should have been an amalgamation of the two. There should have been a merger of the two. So the merger word is very, very popular in Indian football these days. Merger of the two, but it has not happened. One system has been completely eliminated without seeing what is good and what is, and another system has been introduced rather forcefully, without having proper discussion with all the stakeholders. And as I said, nobody is talking about it. So there is no point.
Okay, I'll flip it a bit. Don Renedy, I'm not going to ask you what you see are the merits, demerits of the system, but I'm asking, if you want a new system to succeed, do you suppose you want to give it at least a minimum of 10 years? A 10-year period, and then say, did this work? That didn't work. time to go to the drawing board and adding, subtracting, whatever, for the better future of Indian football?
I think it will be काफ़ी ख़राब रहेगा अगर हम लोग ये बेलारूस मैच के अगेंस्ट में अगर जज करेगा तो अगर 10 years or 15 years हो आपका प्लान, and we shouldn't judge on because we knew that it will be a big mistake. हम लोग सोचे कि डायरेक्टली हम लोग बेलारूस जैसा टीम को हरा देगा, and we can clearly see that the opponent team was far superior individually as a team. They were in every aspect they were far better. So now we cannot judge. Hong Kong is not going to be as good as this. Afghanistan is not going to be as good as this, and we knew that. And the coach, he was trying out different players. We can see Anwar, Hormipam, Misra, not Thapa, Roshan, and Brendan coming in after a long time. But like Richard and Dada said, we have to come with the best 11 first, and again we have to see what system we have to play. But again, being a former player, if I say that हम लोग बेलारूस को हराना चाहिए, no, we cannot. We just cannot. We are not ready for that. So we just not ready for that. Even with Bahrain, yes. But the best thing is now, of course, हम लोग top most अभी जैसा senior Indian team को हाँ जीतना चाहिए. We're just not ready. So we have to decide which our best 11 first, and the system to play. Best first 11 में या अपना current Indian team में
कौन best 11 उसकी दिख ही नहीं रही रेनेडी भाई इतने टाइम से. मैं कह रहा हूँ उसकी हर मैच में 11 बदल रही है.
Give him more matches. He has to get in.
No, I'm saying even if you look back, Renedy bhai, and you look
and
at all the friendlies,
he have selected
and so
few
on.
new. Yeah. So he have selected all this Hormipam, Anwar coming into the senior team, Seretan getting a time. So ये लोग आप कब चांस देगा, अभी नहीं देगा तो at the same time आपके पास कितना मैचेस है फिर, बहुत कम मैच है. Yes, we can go critical about it, but and I think this is not the right time अभी आप लोग बेलारूस के अगेंस्ट में हम लोग ये करके. But again, now the 2 matches that we have seen, now this is the time to select his best 11 now. अभी जब भी अगर next match खेलेगा उसमें put his best 11 and see how we play, and according to that अगर नहीं हो रहा है तो निकालो, अगर हो रहा है then keep it.
Don Ishfaq, I'll just say ठीक है, मैंने in the beginning defense के बारे में बोला. हम कह रहे हैं जी हांगकांग, कंबोडिया, अफगानिस्तान, तो वहाँ पे we're all expecting a minimum of 7 or at least 6 points so that the team qualifies for the Asian Cup 2023. But to get those 6 points to 7 points, you have to score a goal. सर अगर सुनील छेत्री, खुदा ना खास्ता, मैं तो कह रहा हूँ ठीक है, और ये गलत किस्म की थिंकिंग होगी ना कि सुनील छेत्री है तो फिर चलो जी गोल की बात करते हैं. मैं कह रहा हूँ चलो फॉरगेट सुनील छेत्री रहे. और कहाँ से गोल है सर? मुझे तो गोल नहीं दिख रहे, गोल स्कोरिंग अपॉर्चुनिटीज भी नहीं दिख रही इतनी. आपका म्यूट आ रहा है.
See, first of all, I will tell you what Renedy bhai said. Like, we cannot judge, them for this one match, or I don't see. I agree partly with everyone. I think one of the thing is Renedy bhai made it clearly said the young guys when he's gonna give them exposure or to just check out how they are. This is the perfect time. Whether we are playing a stronger team, less stronger team, doesn't matter. But before qualifiers, he has to get them, check them how they will perform in international football and everything, and get them that taste. Whether we gain it, we had some positives, like these youngsters are there. They are definitely the positive for future. As Renedy bhai said, maybe there, I just heard there will be some more practice matches in April, where I also believe maybe if there are 3 matches, first match or second match, first 2 matches or first or the third match, I don't know how many, but I heard 3 matches are there. But if they are there, he should definitely start with the first 11. By now he should know who are the players who is going to make them play. So let them start, and then in between, if he want to try out something in one match, maybe he can. That's up to coach. But I am sure he will be knowing who are the players start. Regarding your question, goals, see, one of the biggest problem right now we have when we play the team, when JJ was there, he was the one along with the Sunil who was able to hold and people were joining. unfortunately, Renedy Boy made it. He said in last match, we are when Manvir playing right wing or left wing, or Klosso playing left wing, and them putting him in the center are completely different players. They are fast with the ball. They can beat on the side. Some players are really good on the wings. They can score the goals also, because they know they only have to cover one side. When you play in centrally, you have to balance both sides. Like when you are receiving the ball, like I'm talking about technical and tactical abilities. Since they have been playing completely on the wings, so they develop that sense of playing which will be suited their people. They make those late runs when somebody is holding the ball on. Now, when you give them a new role, it will take time. So that's why you will see we were always, when we were winning the ball, it was straight away coming back to us, and again under pressure. So what happens because of that? The midfield and those fullbacks who make the runs, they become extremely tired, because अभी उन्होंने बॉल छीना ही होता है और वो ऊपर रन करते और फिर से बॉल वापस आ जाता है पीछे. So maybe Sunil can do that. Sunil has a definitely ability to do that, to hold up little bit, and that might unable to release some of our wingers. But as of now, we have Sunil, so he has to still take that responsibility of scoring goals. We can't say like it's unfair to him. He is a top scorer. He's a goal scorer. If he's in first 11, there will be what you call expectations, and we will count on him only rather than anyone, because as you clearly seen, there is not really happening without him as a coming to those places to score goals. He has been brilliant, and I think we will have to count on him again on this qualifiers, until and unless we will see somebody coming up with like really good performance and scoring goals. Maybe in set pieces we might see some of the defenders scoring goals, definitely, against these teams. But I also I'm little bit like we might score here or there from the wings, but out number 9 we don't have, except
We don't have.
Sunil. You have to
जेजे
agree
की
that
खली
what
सर
we
जेजे की
don't
कमी
have, we
खल रही है
don't
बहुत
have.
ज़्यादा.
Simple.
आपने बिल्कुल सही नाम लिया था बिगनिंग में आपने. तो हम तो यही सोच रहे थे कि जेजे आएगा तो जेजे विल टेक ओवर, क्योंकि जेजे तो लिंकअप पे भी बड़ा प्यारा करता है जो आपने बोला. बट जेजे के अंदर गोल मारने वाला वो है, वो बंदा, वो नंबर 9, उसको नहीं परवाह पीछे क्या हो रहा है, वो उसको अपना गोल दिखता है बस. वो वाला स्ट्राइकर है, वैसा बंदा ही नहीं है हमारे पास.
वो होल्ड भी करता था ना आपका मतलब आप.
हम्म.
he was like really good in that, when he was not off late that fast, but उसका एक चीज था बंदे का, मतलब वो होल्ड करेगा बॉल आपको, चाहे
हाँ.
कितना भी बड़ा डिफेंडर हो पीछे. He had that ability to hold the ball. When Sunil is not also playing, unfortunately, that is not happening. And you might have seen, as Richard said, the 35% of the percentage was there. One of the reason was we were not there were patches really good even against Belarus also, when we pressed them high, and we had the ball, but nothing concrete was coming out of that thing. We had like good ball position on certain places, especially in their defensive third. Like it was good, but as Renedy was talking, as Richard was also talking, they are superior side physically and technically than us. You have to agree. Whether it helped us to gain some confidence or not, that we have to see only now when we will play real qualifying round matches. But I believe there were positives. I believe they defended well in first half. Honestly, after a very long, I liked Sandesh what he did in that match, especially in centrally. He looked very confident. He was like a leader, and those two young guys also did pretty well. Roshan did pretty well, but you playing against such an superior team, we are not used to play against such sides. You have to take that also in account. And as Joydeep Das also said that I'm sure he must be knowing by now his first 11, and
सर बट
If you
हम
note
तो
it
ये
very
वाले जो लेग हुआ था वहां भी हम कह रहे थे कि अभी तक आपको फर्स्ट 11 नहीं पता। मैं मतलब यही कह रहा हूँ कि ये जो फर्स्ट 11 वाली बात है इनकी काफी टाइम से चल रही है एंड आई नो देयर हैज बीन अ कोविड एंड व्हाटएवर, सो इट माइट सीम लाइक अ वेरी लॉन्ग टेन्योर, इट्स नॉट एक्चुअली बीन दैट लॉन्ग अ टेन्योर।
see, maybe you guys didn't know. I will tell you a couple of things more. 4 or 5 players played 20th. They played the match. 20th they played the match 130 minutes. Very next day we reached hotel that day around 1:30 we was having dinner. So 3 or 4 players were with us. Same goes with the Hyderabad also. Now very next day they fly, and very next day there was a 22nd I think was a training where Jigson Singh has felt something on his hamstring also, and 8 players were not ready to play because they were not they didn't recover. It's not a football. You have to go on the rules also. The recovery, I think Richard will be knowing better. They were in no way in a position to play those 8 players in the first match, because that would have been really like injustice with those players and putting them in the rest, and that's why they didn't play. So maybe that's why you saw many different teams, and maybe the second match he had to give them chance because there were only 2 matches. Because of the scheduling of this, because of the COVID, maybe the final match would have been around 15th or 16th. They would have got at least a week with the national team. Some of them didn't even train and only had one training session, and even those new players also. So background में बहुत कुछ होता है. We can't blame everything. We as Jagdeep correctly said, भाई हमारा नीचे से हम लोग गलत जा रहे हैं पहले से. हम लोग क्या है कि अनफॉर्चुनेटली जो हमारे प्लेयर्स बनाते हैं, जो टॉप मतलब जहाँ पे टैलेंट पॉलिश होता है, उनको टेक्टिक्स और टेक्निक सिखाते हैं, वहाँ पे हम लोग सबसे कम पैसे खर्च करते हैं और सबसे कम पैसे कोच को देते हैं. मतलब भाई अगर कोई काम तैयार करने के लिए नहीं होता, चलो कोई भी कोच लेके आते हैं, उधर लाते हैं. ये सी लाइसेंस कोच हो, उसने डी लाइसेंस, चलो भाई उसको ग्रास रूट में लगा लेते हैं. That concept has to be changed. You need a more qualified coach there because he is producing your generation. He is polishing your generation. Rather than what हमारा concept क्या है, भाई चलो कम पैसे में वो सी लाइसेंस का कोच मिलेगा उधर. One coach can make a one good player, but one bad coach can destroy 10 good players who would have been in the future. You have to understand that. That is where we are wrong. वो हमारी मेंटालिटी चेंज होनी जरूरी है.
Point. I think that's a very good point you put out. Ishfaq, you had to leave. So if you want to continue, bhai, aap
5 minutes
leave.
I am here. I would just only hear what Bhai will say and all that.
No, so we've got 2 other coaches with us. So Renedy, you want to take that forward on the point that Ishfaq is making about your C license, D license coaches and the kind of players that are being produced ground up coming into the main draw.
No, but no disrespect to the coaches, but I'm saying the mentality.
Brother, हम लोग इतना दिन से बात करते जा रहे. I think there is yeah. Okay, there is a fan going on, So someone has to stop the fan.
Someone stop your fan.
Yeah. तो आवाज कहाँ से आ रहा है इतना?
By Kashmir.
I think you're on a bit of a lag. Renedy bhai. So you're getting it a little late. So I'll go slowly. On the point that Ishfaq made on the coaches, is there anything you want to add? Have you seen some improvement? Is it getting better, or is there still a lot that needs to be done?
No, of course it's getting better. I was talking to Richard also. Today I met Savio sir. Then and he was talking about how important coaching education is again. And I can totally understand that we still have a long way to go. But then the work they have started with Richard also was there in the AFF. And that was a very good thing. Now we all can at least start thinking how we can be a better coach. So the more coaching education, the better. और हम लोग के पास अगर जाएगा गांव में या every school में, if you see, there are so many young kids who are interested. लेकिन अगर कोच लोग देखेगा, we don't even have a proper football ground or football field. और अगर कोच लोग का देखा जाएगा, they have not learned properly कि कैसा कोचिंग करना है. And if coaching education gets better, bigger, then if you can spread out, जितना भी स्कूल में अगर वो लोग का कंपलसरी कर देगा कि लाइसेंस एजुकेशन जरूरी है, लाइसेंस पकड़ना जरूरी है, then that will spread out and it will become much better. Otherwise हम लोग का अगर देखा जाएगा पर लास्ट मैच में the way Belarus was playing, वो एक दिन में नहीं हुआ या 10 दिन में नहीं हुआ या 10 साल में नहीं हुआ. They have been doing that for last 20-30 years. उसके बाद इतना अच्छा देखने में लगता है. Suppose if you talk about Bose, Sandesh, Veke, Kotal, you know, they can play a counter-attacking play. They can play a counter-attacking game, like I said last time. But are they ready to play out from the back? Are they ready to play that beautiful football? No, all due respect, not ready yet to be the best in Asia, or Asia में अच्छा करना भी होगा तो. So now, you know, coaches loco, you know, larka loco, that proper training is important so that we can, even if you talk about Anwar, if you talk about Hormipam, they are good players, but they still have to work really hard to play that best game. So वो लोग का नीचे में जो आ रहा है उसको we have to give a proper guidance, give a proper training, so that we all be able to see a good match like Belarus have played. So now it's a long way, but our work is on. Just that, you know, in PCA में जो you know, Xavier sir and the other coaches, so many coaches are working hard. We just have to work more, and one day we will see. And this is not the right time. This is not the right time to, you know, but we can talk about it, but it has to go on for another 10-15 years in a proper way. Otherwise, we will not be able to see.
Richard, and once I'm guessing that area gets sorted, because no one knows this ground up reality better than you, in terms of coach education and creating players. Once we probably sort that out, then that dependence of कि जी non-Indian visa वाला coach ही होना चाहिए, वो dependence भी हमारा थोड़ा हटेगा, and थोड़ा dependence आएगा on Indian coaches a lot more.
नहीं भाई, ये जो I mean good that Ishfaq and Renedy have touched on it in appropriate ways, क्योंकि सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है कैलेंडर ही नहीं है. मतलब अगर सीनियर फुटबॉल देखोगे, साल के 6 महीने हम लोग प्रोफेशनल लीग चला रहे हैं, उसके आगे पीछे 20 मैचेस में भी डिसाइड हु द चैंपियन ऑफ इंडिया इज. तो उधर ही मतलब स्टार्ट्स टू ट्रिकल डाउन एट द यंगर एज ग्रुप्स. अगर बचपन से ही आदत नहीं है टू प्ले फुटबॉल 40-50 वीक्स ऑफ द ईयर, कोचेस को कहां पे एक्सपीरियंस मिलने वाला है. मतलब ए लाइसेंस लेकर भी अगर हम लोग सिर्फ ये 20-30 हफ्ते कोचिंग कर रहे हैं, प्री सीजन सब कुछ मिला के, उसमें कुछ एक्सपीरियंस नहीं आने वाला. एंड द अदर थिंग ऑफ व्हाट दे मेंशन, स्टाइल ऑफ प्ले जो बात कर रहे हैं, जाके स्टैट्स देखो हमारे अंडर 16 अंडर 19 टीम्स के, उधर भी हम लोग 35% पोजीशन रख रहे हैं जब एशियन कंपटीशन में जा रहे हैं. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि अभी 8 साल में भी हमारा स्टाइल ऑफ प्ले बदलेगा, क्योंकि द एग्जिस्टिंग 14, 15, 16 ईयर ओल्ड्स आर नॉट टेकिंग केयर ऑफ द बॉल अगेंस्ट क्वालिटी एशियन ओपोनेंट्स. तो बात अभी आज के 5-6 साल के बच्चों के साथ शुरू होने वाली है. लेकिन अगर आप देखोगे कि जापान में जो भी एशिया के लीडर्स हैं, अगर वो लोग साल के 40 to 45 वीक्स फुटबॉल खेल रहे हैं और हम लोग 11 साल में पुश पास सिखा रहे हैं, ये सब जो हो रहा है, मतलब जहाँ पे ये कोचिंग नॉलेज, अप्रोप्रिएट नॉलेज की जरूरत है, कैलेंडर ही नहीं है भाई. मतलब सीनियर टीम भी वी आर प्लेइंग हाफ द फुटबॉल ऑफ व्हाट जापान एंड कोरिया प्ले, मतलब क्लब लेवल पे ले लो. एंड अदर थिंग अबाउट बहरीन इज उनका जाके इंटरनेशनल कैलेंडर देख लो. whenever there is a FIFA break, they're playing 2 to 3 friendly matches. तो अगर उनका लीग हमारे बराबर ही है, 18 मैचेस में उनका लीग खत्म हो जाता है. they have something known as the Bahrain Kings Cup, उसमें 4-5 मैचेस मिल जाते हैं. लेकिन their international calendar is very busy. मतलब national team last year I think they completed 16 games. वो भी peak COVID period सब कुछ देख लो. अभी भी ये लोग ने ये बेलारूस के साथ I think they're playing them tomorrow. They play Belarus tomorrow. तो उनका नेशनल कैलेंडर भी बहुत बिजी रहता है. मतलब I think they have a calendar set for about 8 to 10 months. भारत के अंदर जो हो रहा है, मतलब थोड़ा स्टैगर्ड है. लेकिन हमारा सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम, हम लोग फुटबॉल खेलते ही नहीं है भाई. मतलब जितना जो क्वांटिटी की जरूरत है, क्योंकि हम लोग बोल रहे हैं कि ये नॉन इंडियन वीजा पासपोर्ट जो भी कोचेस आने वाले हैं, लेकिन स्पेन का अंडर 12 कोच साल पे साल 45 मैचेस कोचिंग कर रहा है भाई. मतलब इफ यू टॉकिंग अबाउट अंडर 12 सी लाइसेंस कोच इक्विवेलेंट इन स्पेन, जर्मनी, पोर्चुगल ले लो, and you accumulate that experience. So after 5 years he is 200 games into the mix of being a coach. That is training to match, match to training, training to match, match to training. उसको ये knowledge apply करने का platform मिल रहा है. हम लोग का यूथ कैलेंडर देख लो, मतलब 10 मैचेस मुश्किल से होते हैं, 4-5 हफ्ते में शुरू से एंड तक खत्म हो जाता है, और उसी के अंदर हमको A लाइसेंस, B लाइसेंस, C लाइसेंस का क्वालिटी दिखाना है, तो कैलेंडर पहले आना है, फिर ये सब सेटल हो सकता है भाई। मतलब जो हम लोग बात करते जा रहे हैं, प्लेटफॉर्म ही नहीं है, प्लेटफॉर्म ही नहीं है।
फिर बच्चों को बोल देते हैं कि बच्चों देखो जी, अभी जी वृंदावन की जो सीढ़ियाँ बहुत लंबी हैं, हैं, तो दिया जला के रखो, अभी बुझाना मत, अभी बुझाने का टाइम नहीं है, बहुत टाइम लगना है, अभी तपस्या करके लगे रहना है आपने। क्योंकि एनी भाई, गुड टू हैव यू विद अस फाइनली। क्योंकि इन 2 मुकाबलों के बाद मैं तो बात कर रहा हूँ जो आपका एक स्टेक होल्डर है, द फैन, who's become pretty vocal because there are ways of being vocal as well now, is saying sack Stimac, but that is not the solution, right? You can bring in anyone else, not going to change too much, is it?
No, not immediately. I mean, so like we see whenever there's a change of coach in club football, we get to see this much more frequently than in international football, obviously. But whenever there's a change of coach, immediately something changes in the dynamic, right? I think Renedy had the experience of going through this process during this specific season of the ISL, uh, where he took charge of the team for 4 games, and you could see immediately the short-term improvement in and the kind of impact that he had on the team's mentality, the team's approach, and how they were executing things on the pitch. But like you guys have been talking about since we started the live, that if you're looking at it from a longer term perspective and looking at building something that leads to progress or steps forward, then a sacking of a coach, a head coach of a national team, I don't know how much of an impact really it has, if the perspective that the coach has been brought in from is to build something. If the perspective that the coach has been brought in from is just to use his influence to gain some kind of PR traction or to arrange some of these friendly matches against countries like Belarus and Bahrain, who otherwise may not be so inclined to play against India, I don't know. And if he's specifically engaged just because the 2023 Asian Cup is scheduled to be held and India wanted a high-profile coach for that job, then maybe the perspective is different and maybe then you can make some changes. But otherwise, I don't think any real impact will be had of sacking coaches. Sacking coaches is a knee-jerk, it's a reactionary move, in my opinion. Yeah.
But no, I'm just saying, if you take a decision on the coach right now, after 15 games, that's not knee-jerk. Only thing is, the reason you won't take a decision now is because it's so close
because
to your
you're in the
qualifying,
middle of
and
a
then
rock in a hard place, right? You're
exactly.
qualifying. Last stage of qualifying is coming up in little or no time. I would still say, I mean, if you have to do it again, to go back to a point that we've reiterated, I think many times on the show, I think there are some Indian coaches that are that have had some exposure, some time with the system, and for the kind of qualifying campaign that lies ahead, I think definitely it would be a great opportunity to give the responsibility to an Indian coach and see what they do with it, if that move has to be done. But again, the timing is not great. It's not ideal. It's not like immediately we'll get someone in who will have a greater understanding of the problematic aspects of what we've seen in Stimac's 2 years plus. Right?
I'm just
आएगा अगर
gonna,
कोई बाहर से आएगा तो उनका अंडरस्टैंडिंग इस करंट जो सेटअप है उससे कम ही होगा, ज्यादा तो नहीं होगा.
True, and that will always be a disadvantage for any new guy coming in, because our system is only so, it's so ad hoc at the moment. But I'm just going to, before we let Ishfaq and Renedy go, Ishfaq, do you want to make any other point before we let you go? Firstly,
Yes, just wanted to say,
भाई
everybody
दोपहर
touched
का
on
टाइम
this.
है. हाँ, 15
please
मिनट
ignore
और
him.
बताई लो हमारे
Sir,
साथ.
please ignore him. Please ignore him, sir.
No, as Richard rightly mentioned, like there are a lot of things. See, I want to just tell you the question you ask Annie also. The sacking coach is not an any kind of solution for this. When Constantine was there, we said okay, sack him. Now one more coach is there, we want to sack him. How many times we will just try to not to blame on system and rather to blame on coaches who are coming. It might be tomorrow with the Indian coaches. This is our level, and Indian coach might have some good results also, but he will definitely have a bad results also with the stronger team. Then we will be saying okay, bhai, isko bhi nikalo. until and unless we go from the grassroots, as Renedy was saying, coach education program has been doing really good. We are the products also, Renedy, me, all when we were playing, we have done this through the like the coach education program only, but it is still less. It is very, very less, giving the dynamics of our entire country and the region, how big it is. We have to do more. Like there is talent. There is talent everywhere. I'll give very one example. In Kashmir, J&K Bank, back I think in 2000 something, they started an academy. And I used to train with them. I promise I still remember it. I saw a lot of young kids playing there. Most of those young kids are in their first team, and one of them is Danish.
Arey wah.
So this is what, when you have a proper academy, like with the proper coaches there, they may not produce 20 players, but they will definitely produce one good player. This is what I meant earlier. No disrespect, there can be the C-less. I was saying the mentality is such where we want to spend less, grassroots pay. Whereas we should try to get a better coach there, pay him better, and let him do that job, and he can develop those young, that future of ours. But we try to cut there, try to put it senior, and हम लोग थोड़ा उल्टा जाते हैं, जहाँ पे खर्च करना है और जहाँ पे एक अच्छा कोच लाना है. अच्छा कोच, no disrespect to the coaches who have C license or D license or B license. I'm not saying, but I'm saying when there is a good coach.
सर उसका एक बड़ा एक तोड़ ये है कि मतलब if I am thinking of investing in development and academy and just bringing the point with Richard mate, वो कह रहा है यार अगर मैं 10 मुकाबलों के लिए मैं इतनी क्या इन्वेस्टमेंट करने वाला हूँ, 15 मुकाबलों के लिए मैं ऐसी क्या इन्वेस्टमेंट करूँ? Why should I like beat myself up?
See, this is what I'm trying to tell you. It's all interrelated. Like you cannot develop one part and then leave the other part there only. It is everything. We have to pick all those options, all those things all together. More matches, like spread out coach education program, develop your coaches, as Richard rightly said. Even if I am a good coach, I am also only getting 18 matches or something like matches for me also a season. It's not only for players. We always talk about players, but imagine if there are a lot of good coaches who are just doing the second division. They are getting 8 matches, and for entire season or फिर उधर मतलब proper 8 matches with those second division teams. They do get the state league and all that, but as Richard rightly said, like it's not only about the coaches, it's not only about the players who are getting less matches, it's about the coaches also. So everything, that system, like hopefully next year we might have more matches, but we have to take everything, like it's from the grassroots. As Renedy bhai said, बेलारूस का आज का नहीं होगा ये, वो अच्छा फुटबॉल खेल रहे हो भाई, हम लोग भी वैसे ही करें भाई. उन्होंने प्रोग्राम कम से कम 25-30 साल पहले वो स्टार्ट किया होगा. सो फॉर अस, एज रिचर्ड ऑल्सो सेड, कि भाई हम लोग 11 और trust me, even in professional level, I have showed some players like how to, like push pass, like मतलब आता है, but still to how to keep it down. It's not I'm not trying to criticize him, but it's the fault in our system, like fault in our coaching, my coaching, I'm saying, because हम लोग को बोला ही नहीं गया था वो पहले. जो 6 साल के बच्चे को सिखाना था, we are teaching that at the age of 14.
Yeah.
और हम लोग सभी बोलते
हैं. I remember when Mangi had gone off to Melbourne, I think Melbourne Hearts or whatever the name of the club is.
Melbourne Hearts.
At that time in the A-League, he had gone for a bit of a training stint. And in some of the interviews he did when he was there, this is exactly the point that he was also making, that, as a 27, 28-year-old, I'm going into a training session where I'm still trying to cope with the basic technical aspects of things that these kids who are 10 years younger than me, they have all sorted out from a very young age. So those are the real gaps in the system that exists.
Yeah, but I have to say here, if I have to say that, भाई हम लोग को sporting nation बनाना है. Sporting nation जब बनाते हैं, आपका गांव में community में कितना football ground है? आपका गवर्नमेंट क्या कर रहा है, आपका कम्युनिटी क्या कर रहा है, कम्युनिटी जितना कम्युनिटी में फुटबॉल ग्राउंड बनाना है उसका तो कम्युनिटी हॉल बना दिया आप। अभी क्या करोगे आप, you know? So and we are talking about beating Belarus here, and Richard said we have to have a calendar. आपका गांव का बच्चा लोग साल में कितना मैच खेलता है, आपका स्टेट लीग कितना होता है, आपका डिस्ट्रिक्ट लीग कितना मैच खेलता है. So now this is a problem which has been having for last 30 years. I feel that's why our region is going nowhere. And even if we work on coaching education, जितना करने के बाद भी अगर ये लाइसेंस स्ट्रक्चर वाइज नहीं रहेगा, if we don't have a baby league, if we don't have we are talking again and again, I'm tired of this, but this is the only way. If we don't take care on baby leagues, if we don't care on youth league में अभी now Round Glass has become a champion, लेकिन Round Glass ने कितना साल में कितना मैच खेला, यूथ लीग वो 4-5 तो एकेडमी खेल के आपने चैंपियन हो गया यूथ लीग का, इसका क्या मतलब है? सो कितना 4 एकेडमी 4 टीम्स खेलने के बाद चैंपियन हो गया, तू कितना 4 मैच सालों में 4 मैच. So just see man, just how many matches that our kids are getting, our under 16 or under 15 or under 19 are getting. So we can't think about it. Yeah. So
do you see the lack of match practice affecting your kids at Classic?
Of course.
Competitive games.
Yes, that's why we have been, before COVID, we have started this youth league, which will go on for 5 months. We are starting that again, so that under 13, 16, 19, they all will get at least 5 months. Of course, to do it for 9 months, it costs a lot of money, but at least start with 5. That's what we are trying again. So at least in Manipur, we at least get competitive matches. But look in every corner, and Ishfaq said, इतना एक एकेडमी करने के बाद एक दानिश फारूक आया है. सो मणिपुर सिर्फ करने से नहीं होगा, या मेरा डिस्ट्रिक्ट करने से नहीं होगा, या मेरा स्टेट करने से नहीं होगा. इट हैज टू बी ऑल ओवर इंडिया. केरला में क्या कर रहा है, कश्मीर में क्या कर रहा है, बैंगलोर में क्या कर रहा है, और दिल्ली में क्या कर रहा है, कितना मैचेस खेल रहा है, भगवान जाने. 10 to 15 मैच में साल में खत्म. सो दिस इज द बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम.
आपने दिल्ली बोला, बिकॉज सो इट्स अगेन सेम पॉइंट. दिल्ली में तो मतलब प्रोफेशनल फुटबॉल is not at that level. You would call it a mix of in between amateur and professional. So any Delhi player who's only played in Delhi, and when they go outside, basic tactics of how to move on the field, those are a little found wanting for the Delhi player. तो वो पहले वो समझता है कैसे ये सीखूं ये सब. And probably this is what's happening all over the country. कोई यहाँ पे कम है तो उसको problem होती है when they go to a higher level, and that adjustment period is here. Ishfaq, Renedy bhai, thank you so much for joining us. This was much needed. Nice chat for the two of you, but you've got to go, so I'll let the two of you leave. But Siddhant is here, Richard is here, and Sir is here.
Both of them are on fire though, man. Why don't you just hang on to them for another 10 minutes? We're wrapping up anyway.
Bye.
No. It's okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Let's do it. I'll stay for 10 minutes. Yeah, it's fine.
I will be going because I have one meeting with Sports Council. Sorry, guys. But before I go, congratulations to Richard and Renedy.
A license?
No forward. Pro,
Yeah, pro, sir.
प्रो के लिए क्या? ओके, बात करेंगे. मेरे को मालूम नहीं.
Okay, bye. Sir, you've been hearing us for a while. Sorry, I didn't get you in. I'll get you in now. And you started the show. You started the show by saying, and I think Ghuma Fira ke everyone's come to that point, saying that you can't blame the player, you can't blame the coach. Somewhere or the other, you have to point fingers at your system, right? Your system is not working. What is lacking in your system? And let's not just focus on the top, because when you talk about the system, you've got a feeder that helps the top to grow. So what is lacking in your eyes that really needs to be fixed in the system, or has been missing in these last 7 years?
यार ये तो सीधी बात है. आप पहले 40-50 मैच खेलते थे, आप 20 मैच में आ गए डोमेस्टिक सीजन में. इस पे क्या मतलब, इस पे कोई टेक्निकल कुछ नहीं है. Nothing is there. We can see it in front of our eyes. Ask Renedy how many matches he used to play in 98-99 season. Actually, one of the India players who has just stopped playing India. I don't know whether I should name him or not, but he was telling me one day, Dada, up to 2011, in my career, in my 3 years of my career, 4 years of my career, I played around 120 matches.
Wow.
And I might have to play another 10 years to play another 120 matches. because Indian football has been stopped playing. That's all. So coach को क्या blame करना है, player को क्या blame करना है? Players are not playing. Coach को कितना time मिलता है? This national coach, you want him to produce result. It is like कि इसको आप class में first बना दो, लेकिन आप class मत लेना. Don't take tuitions. Without taking tuitions, you make them first in your class. How many days we have given to the national coach? In Indian football, you cannot go by the European way. Ki I will leave players for 72 hours before the matches. वो नहीं होता. वो तो European style है. Rules have been framed according to that Bob Houghton always used to say. All the rules have been framed because of the European nations, for the benefit of the European nations. Asian nations will have to do on their own way. आप तो उसको अब मेरे ख्याल से कि qualifiers में I hope it will be better because he will have a longer camp. कम से कम 20-25 दिन का कैंप तो उसको दे दो.
उससे पहले अप्रैल में मैचेस भी होंगे आई थिंक.
हाँ, जो भी है उसको थोड़ा सा टाइम दे दो उसको. अब ऐसे नहीं कि आप उसको फर्स्ट करा दो लेकिन बच्चे आपके पास कल ही आएगा. Only yesterday they will come and next day they have to stand first in their classes. Is it possible? And if you have to, I was just listening. Somebody has started sack Stimac or whosoever. They should start actually. If there are people who should be sacked, is Mr. Patel and his committee, because they have brought these things down to here. Whether how we are playing or not, where we are playing is not the case. But our boys were playing 45-50 matches a year. They were.
That's a good point, because so when this blueprint was being made for the new league, you reckon they knew or didn't know that eventually by year 7, year 8, you're only playing 20 games?
See, everything. I don't know who.
Progression at least would have been given at that time, saying कि ज़्यादा matches खेलेंगे, all of that will happen.
नहीं यार,
क्या बात है?
Those things were. I'm sorry. Those things, Arjun. Let me tell. Those things were never in the consideration. Consideration was what I say, commercial purpose. आप जब से बोलने लग गए हैं कि एक ये न्यू लीग जो है, even in 2014-15 when you said that it is only an entertainment league, even at that time you kept the window clean for this tournament. You did not allow any other tournament to be held at that point of time. Those 3 months. That time it was a 3 months window. Now it has become a 6 months window. So your purpose was not to extend football or to keep playing or to play 40 matches, 45 matches. These calculations were never there. Your purpose was completely commercial. Your purpose was to establish a particular tournament, and whatever the consequence be, at the cost of whosoever it is. So that has been established quite well. And now you see the consequences. That's all, nothing else. Nobody counted matches at that time. Nobody had those technical thinking. कि इससे क्या हो सकता है?
So the technical thinking part of it was being done supposedly in the same building, where the technical director of the AIFF and all, at the same time when discussions about the new league was happening and how that will be structured, there was a big white paper and a document that was also being prepared called Laksh, which was a sort of strategic document.
Richard is saying, "ये मेरा chip क्या है?" मैं notes देता हूँ. ये फर.
Yes, I have it. But Siddhant, one thing you tell me, Laksh has been ridiculed also by some people. I'm not getting into this. No. Listen to me. Has Laksh been followed? It has not also been followed.
Not at all.
Ask Richard whether it has been followed.
Yeah,
it has not been followed.
That's exactly the point I was going to make. Is that the technical directors or the people who were entrusted with the jobs, the professionals,
were
given the job
of a role that lasts for 15 years. We've had 5 technical directors in the last 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a 10 to 15 year appointment. Technical director jo hota hai.
And I feel importance wise, TD in terms of where our structure is and how ad hoc our system is, the TD is more important than the coach.
See, the thing is, even if the TD was there, see, listen to me, Siddhant, even if the TD was there, even if his intentions were good, and I think all TD's intentions were good, but they were overwhelmed.
Of course, and
They
that's
were
exactly what we're
completely
saying.
overwhelmed
That
for
in
commercial
that
purposes.
in that
They
Lux
were
document,
never
whether you
listened to.
agree with it
And
or you ridiculate whatever it is, in that document, nowhere will it say that number of matches that players are playing should be reduced from 40 to 50 per season
that's what
to
I
20
say.
per season. ना वो तो बोलेगा ही कि आपको मैच तो खिलाना ही है.
Who
लेकिन
listen to TDs? Nobody
कोई
listens to TDs.
उसका कोई
That's all.
consideration नहीं है.
आज भी नहीं सुनता, तब भी नहीं सुनते थे टीडीज को.
So
टीडीज को
basic
आप
point,
कब बुलाते?
I agree with you. Basic point that these somehow what they've understood as short-term commercial decisions and commercial considerations in the very short term have always kind of superseded technical and development considerations, and that's why we have taken this top-down approach to everything we are doing.
And not only that, TDs have been reduced to this level in our last TD, the gentleman who was also with the Japanese team, and he was brought in by the committee only once. Why? Because the committee wanted a particular team not to be demoted from the I League, and the TD, he was leaving at that time. His term was over. He was brought in the meeting, and he was made to say that there should be no promotion and demotion. Yeah. So the committee immediately accepted it, and that was done for only one particular team. Whosoever say anything, I know why it was done. So ये तो TD को सुनता ही नहीं है. जो सिद्धांत बोल रहा है एकदम ठीक बोल रहा है. TD को सुनता कौन है? TDs are good. All TDs were good. Even our friend Australian gentleman, what was his name? Scott. Even Scott had he knew what he was. He had his understanding of the game, but who listened to them? आपका तो पूरा structure commercial purpose में कर दिया है. In each committee of the AIFF, there are members of the commercial partners. Each committee, including your technical committee. When in FIFA and AFC, only your marketing committee has people from your marketing partners. Here, I will reel out names who are all from the marketing partners and members of your different committee. So that means your entire setup is basically for commercial purposes, not for taking the game ahead. What I mean to say, and there are people who are sitting, those who are technical people, those knows things like Renedy, like Richard. They are sitting now. That's why I'm saying they are with us. Who listen to them? Nobody listens to them. Do they?
बेचारे भाई लोग चिल्ला के गला फट गया बेचारों का.
कौन सुनता है उनको? वो आएगा तो रेनेडी सिंह फॉर्मर इंडिया कैप्टन एक फ्लावर बुके दे देगा. उसके बाद कोई नहीं सुनेगा उसको क्या बोल रहा है. वो फुटबॉल खुद चला लेगा ये लोग.
What is the interesting point that Pandit was bringing up earlier, that now at least fans who are very important stakeholders in this game and actually define why this game is such a major global phenomena, they are listening to people like Renedy and Richard and you, Jaydeepda, and others, and building their opinions based on the knowledge that all of you have and are able to share because of these kind of platforms. And if you see from the chat, many people then, their own views on the subject kind of grow, and they are able to put pressure then on authorities to, at some point, we hope, bring in those changes that we are asking for.
I don't think so. It seems obvious. It seems obvious to the eye because it's coming on your timeline. It seems obvious to your eye because you're seeing, say, 40-50 people tweeting it on your timeline. 40-50 people tweeting it on your timeline doesn't make any difference.
Maybe.
With all due respect to the fans, I'm not saying they should stop or whatever. Renedy, can I ask you one very simple thing? Right now, it's 18 games, ISL. कह रहे हैं कि बढ़ाने की सोच रहे हैं, and how they're trying to change the format. What, according to you, would be a decent number realistically to aim for in the next 2 years, I would say, or 3 years, by to get to a number by year 10? Let's forget that you used to play 40-50. Chalo, wo ho gaya. That's gone. But right now, from 18, how do we improve it to go to year 10 and say maybe this is a model we can follow?
Add few more teams, and if there has to be relegation and promotion, otherwise, I League doesn't mean anything. I League से अगर जो आता है उसको promotion कराओ और and जो last 2 team है उसको relegation कराओ, and there will be a lot more interest. अगर जो है हम लोग यही टीम लोग खेलते रहेगा तो आई लीग किसके लिए खेल रहे हैं आप, क्या चीज के लिए खेल रहे हैं आप आई लीग? सो देयर शुड बी ऑलवेज बी अ रेलीगेशन एंड प्रमोशन. अपने आप टीम आई लीग में भी बढ़ेगा और इंटरेस्ट भी बढ़ेगा एंड देयर विल बी लॉट मोर मैचेस दैट वे. और इसका ड्यूरेशन को अगर आप 3-4 महीना से आप इसको एटलीस्ट 8 महीना तो बढ़ा दो, 7 महीना तो बना दो. You to forget about the 9 months, आप 6-7 months तो बना दो. So that's the only way. And अभी हम लोग बोलता है AIFF को, लेकिन state associations क्या कर रहा है? All the state associations ने क्या कर रहा है? अभी we cannot only blame AIFF. State association, district association क्या कर रहा है? What are they doing? जब तक जितना भी अगर AIFF में बैठ के दिल्ली में बैठ के ये जितना states अगर काम नहीं करेगा, they cannot do anything. We cannot do anything. And it will be the same again. हम लोग क्यों हार रहा है, हम लोग क्यों हार रहा है?
हाँ, वही सेम साइकिल चलता रहेगा.
What is state association doing? State association कौन सा अच्छा लीग चल रहा है? State association are they really organized? आप जाकर देखो, ड्रेसिंग रूम देखो, आप ग्राउंड देखो, आप कैसे ऑर्गेनाइज कर रहा है स्टेट लीग का हालत देखो. आप इतना इट्स सच अगर ISL जितना भी टीम है इट्स वेल ऑर्गेनाइज, विदाउट एनी डाउट वेल ऑर्गेनाइज, प्रॉपर 5-star stay. You know, the coaches coming in, there is जितना भी है, there is not only one, there are about 5-6 coaches coming in. आप लेकिन उसका नीचे में कितना है? आप स्टेट लीग में कोचेस है, फिजियो भी नहीं है कोई टीम में. You know, there are so many things. अब इतना अगर गैप होगा, ऊपर में इतना अच्छा और बाकी कुछ नहीं, तो how we will improve? आप जाकर डिस्ट्रिक्ट लीग देखो, डिस्ट्रिक्ट लीग में क्या चल रहा है? बच्चे लोग खाना नहीं मिलता, forget about. You know, there are so many problems going on. So I doubt that it will improve. आप टॉप में इतना अच्छा देखे. There is no backup system at all.
Richard, of all the systems you studied, because generally you look at a prototype when you're trying to find a system that works for you. So you look at characteristics, that player, that could be geographic, could be so many other things, society and so on. In that type, is there a prototype? Or was the prototype what we had when Renedy was in his heyday playing 40-50 games? Because that's the most practical and easy prototype to go back to, because that system was set in place. So it's easier to go back there. For you, would you say that?
नहीं, मतलब ये जो अभी कोच एजुकेशन का इतना बात हुआ है, just feel that had coach education come in then when we had majority Indian coaches, उनके पास सब A license था, sports science support रह जाता, मतलब that would have been excellent. मतलब 40-50 games मिल रहे हैं, everybody is qualified, we have good professionals, strength and conditioning coach. अभी जो हालत है, मतलब ISL का उस समय आ जाता, I think we would have been far ahead. और जो localization का बात कर रहे हैं ना, now if you look at the prototype again, I mean what's working in other places, they have regional TDs also. ऐसा नहीं है कि एक अकेला TD पूरा 1.3 billion लोग का पूरा taking responsibility for that. I mean you have regional TDs, मतलब हर एक state का अगर एक TD रहेगा who reports to him, TD is responsible for overlooking a 30-35 game regional league. मतलब ये जो नीचे जो आ जाता है, क्योंकि उधर भी अगर आप देखोगे who are the people who are holding key positions in state affairs, district affairs में key position में कौन है, मतलब हर एक का second job रहता है. I mean that's not the only thing that they do. 9 out of 10 times they're not even from a footballing background. मतलब who forms the committees, who form the leadership, मतलब president GS level पे ले लो देख लो, तो the structure of the regional FA में भी मतलब key decision makers कौन है, उनका governance and operations कैसे चल रहा है. So overall there's a huge structural breakdown. मतलब ये 40-50 games का भी अगर हम लोग aspiration कर रहे हैं, कौन ये I mean ठीक है commercial पैसा आ गया, ठीक है, but who are the people who are going to take this whole vision forward? मतलब हम लोग तो बच्चों से लेकर
कमेटी बनाएंगे,
हाँ कमेटी पे कमेटी मास्टर प्लान बनाना है, डॉक्यूमेंट लेके आना है, और टीडी को मतलब हर 2-3 साल चेंज करना है, ऐसे तो एमलेस हो जाता है ना काफी.
And a lot of it is done only because there are requirements put down on paper that you must have this, you must have.
ये must have guidelines है भाई, मतलब I don't know why भी इतना क्यों रह जाता है कि पेपर को इतना फॉलो करना है. These are guidelines.
नहीं, because बाकी कुछ
जो middle ground is best for you.
बाकी कुछ करने का neither is there the will nor the vision, man. तो वही करेंगे जो पेपर कर सकते हैं.
North East League, a Calcutta League that runs for 35 games is a lot healthier for our ecosystem than
absolutely having, yeah. And it's not
totally. Oh wow, yeah, totally.
You don't need
दिल्ली का एक लीग बना लो,
अभी
so much healthier for us.
सिद्धांत, अभी ऐसा हुआ, I can share one letter with you, in which Northeast states, all the Northeast states, they wanted to hold a joint league and a joint tournament for
idea.
which they also met the Chief Minister of Tripura and I think met the Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh and Manipur. After getting this news, AFF has written a rather strong letter to all the state associations saying that under the rule and all these things, they have quoted a lot of rules where you are bound to go through the federation and you should not get yourself together to hold such a tournament like this. So that is the way you encourage people. See, all this
going through the federation, I can understand, but discouraging this, I don't understand. I mean,
yeah, that's what I say. Only thing that all they were trying to do was to play matches, nothing else. They were not picking pockets of somebody. They were not getting into some antisocial activities. They were trying to do was to play matches.
डर तो वही है ना, जैसे when this whole idea of the Super League started in Europe, the way in which UEFA slapped that down immediately is because it takes away power, it takes away money.
This is not Super League. This is
I know it's not.
This is a simple league.
Teams that are not part of your top league.
But that's what बना रहे हैं उसके पर्सपेक्टिव से देखो ना, 5 साल में अगर आप ढंग से बनाओ तो एक नॉर्थ ईस्ट अगर आप सॉलिड लीग बनाओ 5 साल में इट विल बी मोर पॉपुलर.
अरे but भाई पर आप सर वही तो मैं पॉपुलर रेडी भाई है. पॉपुलर लीग अगर बनेगी, सॉलिड टीम्स बनेंगे तो वही नॉर्थ ईस्ट के टीम्स फिर आपका प्रमोशन रेलीगेशन एनेबल भी कर सकते हो आप.
ये हम समझ रहे हैं ना बात.
अब बंदे आ गए हमारे पास.
लेकिन जो ओनर है लीग का वो नहीं समझ रहा है ना ये बात. जो एआईएफएफ के चेक्स काट रहा है वो नहीं समझ रहा है ना ये बात.
भाई ये नेरोका और ट्राउ का टक्कर देख लो, स्टेडियम भर जाता है पूरा. मतलब जब आई लीग में हुआ था, चनमारी वर्सेस आइजवाल का टक्कर देख लो, शिलोंग वर्सेस रंगजाजीत का टक्कर देख लो. I mean, it fills up the stands. I mean,
regional local rivalries, I think it's clearly established.
भाई गोकुलम आईएसएल में घुस गया. Imagine the stands over there. Calicut में एक गेम और कोचिन में एक गेम. मतलब
how will they survive?
I will share the letter in the group. I will share that letter in the group. You please read it and see how can somebody stop somebody from playing football only. They were playing football. Poor states. They were playing football.
I hope you're also writing a piece on this, Jaideep.
You read it. You can also.
सर तो मैं हमने 1 घंटा ज़्यादा कर दिया. रेडी भाई, is there anything else you'd like to add? Otherwise, I'll just say my goodbyes to everyone.
No, I just want to say that we just have to support and see the next matches कैसा चलता है. And it was sad to see, honestly, हम लोग गेम देखने को, and because they were far more superior. अपना लड़का लोग ट्राई कर के डिफेंड कर के I remember those days कि हम लोग भी but now training getting better, facilities getting better, लेकिन नीचे में और काम करना पड़ेगा हम लोग, अगर हम लोग से अच्छा मांग रहा है तो I feel bad to see that, but that's the reality. अगर अच्छा हुआ बेलारूस के साथ खेला तो हम लोग को पता चला कि हम लोग कहाँ पर है. And now it's the time for all the stakeholders, all जितना coaches हो, जितना सबको, we still have to go a long way. That's the reason.
So just on this point you've made, are these Belarus type games really helpful to us? अगर हमने कुछ करना ही नहीं उसमें, no, wouldn't be playing a Thailand be more helpful to me? Wouldn't playing a Malaysia be more helpful to me, where I can express myself?
Yeah, but now just before the cup, before the qualifying round, we can play. We have to play those matches also. And sometimes I feel it's good to play with the better opponents to know where we are. हम लोग क्या करना है भाई, अभी कितना दूर में है, so we know where we are.
Yeah.
अब अभी जितना ISL में scoring from here, left, right, going in, out, all those beautiful goals. now we know Belarus के साथ हम लोग कितना दूर में है. So what's the reality? अपना घर में तो हम लोग ये वो कर रहा था. No, all due respect, so players working hard. I'm not saying players didn't work hard. Players work really hard. बेचारा लोग थक गया होगा ये 180 minutes खेल के. But now we know that we have to go a long way. And this is a time, like you said, you play Thailand वगैरह नजदीक जो हांगकांग का टाइप का मैचेस है, मलेशिया है, इंडोनेशिया है, उसके साथ खेल के देखो where we can express. हम लोग 1-on-1 कर सकता है, या हम लोग जीत भी सकता है, जीता हुआ भी है. So now it's a time to play them.
And focus on, I think, under 23 and even more junior teams playing against those Thailand and Malaysia and these countries. And
मैं तो बोलता हूँ,
the senior team needs to step up. Yeah, otherwise, how do you know where you are in any context?
मैं तो बोलता हूँ जो Indian under 23 जो खेल के आया है, वो बच्चा लोग के साथ या senior के साथ खिला दो. It will be a good match.
वही खिलाओ.
It will be a good match. I still remember हम लोग कैंगरी में ट्रेनिंग चल रहा था, ये सीनियर टीम और हम लोग अंडर 19 ने 2 गोल मार दिया अकमदों का टाइम में, 2 गोल मार दिया। तो हम लोग का कोच ने बोला, हम लोग का कोच ने बोला नेक्स्ट मैच वो लोग खेलना चाहे, नेक्स्ट मैच बोलता है, हम लोग कोच बोलता है नहीं खेलेगा अभी, because it's already went out in the news. And after 3 or 4 days we lost again 2-0, but Akhmadov took 6 players like Sankarlal हुआ, Anit Ghosh हुआ, Dipendu हुआ, 6 प्लेयर लेके चला गया। So you have it will be a good match.
Yeah.
TFL में सीनियर जूनियर का मैच जब होता था वो भी सेम डायनामिक्स था। अगर जूनियर लोग जीत गया तो हॉस्टल में एकदम नर्क बन जाता उनके लिए, मतलब जीतना खराब हो जाता।
Jaideep sir, anything else you'd like to add before we say goodbye?
Can I add a small incident into anecdotes into it?
Sure.
So since you were talking about senior junior, I heard a story in कोई 73-74 की बात है, Indian senior team was going to Mardeka, and the junior team was also practicing there. Junior team was practicing under Arun Ghosh, 1962 Asian Games gold medalist. He was the coach of the junior team. So there was a match between the junior team and the senior team. तो junior team का कोई मेरे ख्याल थोड़ा सा कुछ प्रॉब्लम था, मतलब एक आध प्लेयर नहीं था, जो भी था, तो अरुण घोष stood as the stopper back for this junior team. हाफ टाइम में सीनियर टीम का कोच जो था उसने बोला, यार तू बाहर हो जा, don't play, don't, because team is leaving day after tomorrow. I don't want my boys to have any lack of confidence.
भूलता नहीं है बंदा,
भूलता नहीं है। तो यही just I wanted, since Renedy picked up this topic, so I thought I would share.
I think that's the beauty of our chat, that we've got a nice mix of seniors and juniors who've covered Indian football. Siddhant, you're not being considered a junior, bro. You're just being considered an old intermediary. But yeah, it's wonderful. I mean, there's so many experiences and different perspectives of looking at things. And this, believe you me, all that we've said today is not new news. It's not old. I mean, it's not something new that's coming. It's common knowledge, and it's been going on for so long. And therein lies the biggest problem for Indian football. That chat of 10 years back, यार ground up करना है, वो अभी भी हो रहा है 10 साल बाद. तो कहानी वहीं की वहीं अभी भी खड़ी हुई है. रही बात आपकी जी सैक्स टी मैच की, उससे कुछ नहीं होने वाला. सैक्स टी मैच के बाद जो अगला आएगा फलां कौन सा भी पासपोर्ट लेके, उसका भी वही सैक निकलेगा ऐसे. तो भाई वो उससे कुछ होने नहीं वाला.
Like Jaideep was saying on the last show, अब इतना लंबा रस्सी दे दिया है, थोड़ा और खींचने में क्या दिक्कत है?
अब तो भाई खींचना ही पड़ेगा दोस्त, चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए. अब तो आपने 23 एशियन कप क्वालिफाई के बाद खेलो, उसके बाद
अगर क्वालिफाई नहीं हुए then it's a different story.
अगर नहीं हुए,
I agree.
अगर नहीं
फिर तो काम ही नहीं है, फिर नौकरी क्या होगा? फिर तो 2 साल से और कोई काम ही नहीं होगा. ऑफिस ही नहीं है, ऑफिसर कहाँ से होगा?
In the beginning of the show, sir, Richard was going to agree with your prediction of 7 points, but then he came to 6 points. So Richard is saying 6 points. Jaideep sir has said 7 points. Annie has said 9 points. Annie has said 9 points in the last show. And Renedy Bhai said, I'll keep my comments to myself.
First.
After the first match, he said.
After the first match. After the first match. ठीक है जी. तो गुड न्यूज़ है कि इशफाक कह रहे थे कि अप्रैल में शायद और मुकाबले देखने को मिले, तो फिर इस इंडियन टीम को और देखने को मिलेगा. और ये जो कहानी है कि क्या है प्लेइंग 11, होपफुली अब ये बंद हो जाए कहानी और हमें एक कंसिस्टेंट प्लेइंग 11 देखने को मिले. एंड होपफुली दैट गिव्स अस समथिंग कॉन्क्रीट टू बिल्ड ऑन फॉर द क्वालिफायर्स. जयदीप सर, नो सॉरी, डॉन जयदीप, Don Renedy, Don Richard, Don Siddhant, thank you so much for your time, and to all you Dons who've tuned in for this chat. Thank you for watching.
Thanks.
Thank you too, Patrao.
Thanks, brother. Thanks.